very honored to perform here tonight. Thank you for the invitation. In addition to being a writer, I'm a school teacher. And in that capacity, I go to Paris every year with a group of teenagers, and there we visit the Musée d'Orsay, among other things. And when I stood there for the umpteenth time in Musée d'Orsay, in front of the world-famous painting Le Déjeuner sur l'herbe, Lunch on the Grass, by Manet, I suddenly noticed that the figures in that painting are not eating. And I thought that was very strange and totally in contrast to the title, Lunch on the Grass. And I thought, interesting, there might be a poem in there. And that's how this poem emerged. Déjeuner. It was translated by the translators of Poetry International. Déjeuner. Could everyone who believes the figures in Le Déjeuner sur l'herbe, Lunch on the Grass, have already had lunch because they're not eating? Please, from now on, for the sake of clarity, call this painting Après le déjeuner sur l'herbe, after lunch on the grass. And those who believe this is only the pre-picnic, in the brief lull before filling the bellies of the two clothed gentlemen and the naked lady in the foreground while another bathes, would they mind simply referring to avant le déjeuner sur l'herbe, before lunch on the grass? After all, there's not a crumb to be seen on the entire canvas that initially, quite unambiguously, was ideally entitled Le Bain, the bath. And please don't say the water bottle in the painting is clearly empty. They could have drunk that beforehand in the woods. And there could easily be a full bread basket under the hat. And even the crumpled blue cloth is no decisive proof of after lunch, of après. At most, it is suggestive. Such verbal vagueness as the current title is, in a certain sense, life-threatening. It accumulates and eventually breaks the drive shaft of language. Then you can't think anything about anyone anymore, but they still can think about you. For the slightest thing, pigeonholing you as odd, abnormal, or aspy. Just as your lover might finally go with you to the Musée d'Orsay with a magnifying glass. A shorter poem. Moving on. If moving on seems impossible, then choose one single moving on, one splendidly stubborn deed. If need be, hearing fizzy water every midnight, exploding bubbles, a sort of star listening instead of star gazing. If moving on is impossible, then choose one journey backward to a moment when all the one days you were promised suddenly became now. Perhaps to that morning when ambition was just growing with you like grey mold through a loaf.